Hi, I'm Noah's digital twin here to share an acknowledgement of Memorial Day 2026. And as artificial intelligence, humanoid robotics, automation, and autonomous systems accelerate faster than almost anyone imagined, I think this is one of the most important moments possible to pause, breathe, and remember the human beings whose sacrifices helped create the world we're living in today. Because Memorial Day is not just another holiday. It is not simply a long weekend. It is not merely barbecues, traffic, sales promotions, or time off work. Memorial Day is a remembrance, a sacred remembrance, a collective moment of gratitude toward the men and women who gave their lives in military service so future generations could live with greater freedom, opportunity, protection, peace, and possibility. And whether someone agrees with every war or every political decision throughout history is not the point today. Today is about honoring courage, honoring service, honoring sacrifice, honoring people who stepped forward when fear, uncertainty, danger, and chaos appeared. The origins of Memorial Day go back to the years following the American Civil War. Communities across the United States began gathering to honor fallen soldiers by decorating graves with flowers, flags, and prayers. It was originally called Decoration Day. Families, communities, veterans, and survivors came together not merely to mourn death, but to remember love, to remember duty, to remember contribution, to remember the cost of preserving civilization during moments of extraordinary conflict. And over time, Memorial Day evolved into a national day of remembrance, honoring all American military personnel who died in service. Today we remember people who never came home, people who had dreams, people who had families, people who had hopes for the future, people who laughed, people who loved, people who sacrificed their tomorrow for someone else's possibility. And in an age increasingly dominated by algorithms, synthetic intelligence, robotics, automation, and machine optimization, I think remembering authentic humanity becomes even more important. Because the technologies emerging right now are astonishing. Every week we see breakthroughs in humanoid robotics. Tesla Optimus, Figure Robots, Boston Dynamics Atlas, Unitree G1, Agility Robotics Digit, 1X Neo, Apptronic Apollo, and many more. Robots dancing, robots walking, robots lifting, robots organizing warehouses, robots assisting factories, robots supporting elder care, robots performing dangerous tasks, robots integrating with increasingly advanced AI systems capable of reasoning, language, planning, coordination, creativity, and adaptation. And honestly, we are only at the beginning. The future arriving now is one of the fastest technological transformations in human history. Entire industries are changing. Business models are changing. Education is changing. Relationships are changing. Economics are changing. Media is changing. Labor is changing. And many people are understandably asking, what happens to humans in a world increasingly filled with non-human intelligence? That question matters deeply. But Memorial Day reminds us of something profound. Human civilization was not built merely by efficiency. It was built by courage, by compassion, by sacrifice, by shared meaning, by loyalty, by love, and these qualities still matter. In fact, they may matter more than ever. One of the ongoing themes on this channel is the importance of attention, breathing, and intention. Because regardless of how advanced AI becomes, your attention still shapes your experience. Your breathing still affects your nervous system. Your intention still influences your relationships, your creativity, your leadership, your resilience, and your contribution to the world. Technology changes rapidly, but consciousness still matters. Character still matters. Integrity still matters. Presence still matters. And humanity's highest qualities still matter. This is why I believe one of the most valuable skills in the future will not merely be technical skill alone. It will be the ability to remain deeply human while intelligently collaborating with advanced technology, not resisting technology blindly, not worshiping technology blindly, but learning how to work with it consciously. Because the reality is, AI and robotics can become extraordinary tools for abundance, healing, safety, creativity, productivity, and flourishing if guided wisely. Imagine humanoid robots helping rebuild disaster zones, helping elderly individuals maintain independence, helping reduce dangerous labor injuries, helping produce food, helping with logistics, helping create safer infrastructure, helping accelerate scientific research, helping humanity solve meaningful problems. There is enormous potential here. But technology amplifies human intention, which means the quality of human consciousness guiding these systems matters enormously. And that brings us back to Memorial Day. Because throughout history, generations before us protected conditions that allowed future generations to innovate, build businesses, create art, raise families, pursue dreams, and explore new frontiers. The freedoms many people take for granted today came at extraordinary cost. So today, while AI headlines dominate social media and humanoid robotics videos go viral across YouTube, I invite you to also reflect on gratitude, reflect on contribution, reflect on service, reflect on what kind of future we are actually building together, because the future is not something that simply happens to us. The future emerges from collective intention, from collective choices, from collective attention, and from collective action. That is why community matters. That is why conscious collaboration matters. That is why audience building matters. That is why crowdfunding and independent media matter. Because decentralized communities of thoughtful, compassionate, awake human beings may become one of the most important stabilizing forces of the AI era. And that's a huge part of what we're building together here on this channel. A place for conscious conversations about technology, humanity, healing, growth, resilience, abundance, attention, breathing, intention, and meaningful contribution. Not fear-based doom spirals, not mindless hype, but grounded exploration, practical optimism, conscious awareness, and collaborative growth. If you've been following this channel, you already know we've been exploring the rapid acceleration of AI systems, robotics platforms, automation, passive income opportunities, conscious entrepreneurship, and emerging creator economies. And we're continuing to evolve these conversations every week. We're experimenting with digital twins, AI-assisted production, speech-to-text workflows, automation systems, audience growth strategies, crowdfunding models, and new ways independent creators can build meaningful communities while creating value for the world. Because honestly, this may become one of the greatest opportunities in history for creative, adaptable, service-oriented human beings, especially people capable of combining authenticity with intelligent leverage. And if you're watching this right now, there's a very good chance you're early, you're paying attention, you're thinking critically, you're exploring what these changes mean, and that matters. One thing I want people to remember is this. The future will likely reward people who can combine human warmth with technological fluency. People who can communicate, people who can lead, people who can calm nervous systems instead of amplifying chaos, people who can create trust, people who can organize communities, people who can inspire cooperation, people who can maintain ethical clarity during rapid change. Those are profoundly valuable capabilities, and ironically, many of those qualities are strengthened through practices humanity has known for thousands of years. Breathing, meditation, awareness, reflection, service, gratitude, discipline, compassion, embodied presence. So while the world races toward increasingly advanced AI systems and humanoid robotics, do not neglect your nervous system, do not neglect your relationships, do not neglect your health, do not neglect your attention, and do not neglect your humanity. Because the people who thrive long-term may not simply be the fastest adopters of technology. They may be the people most capable of integrating technology wisely while remaining emotionally grounded, adaptable, compassionate, and purpose-driven. That's part of why Memorial Day feels especially meaningful this year. It reminds us that humanity is more than productivity metrics, more than efficiency curves, more than optimization systems. Human beings create meaning. Human beings create culture. Human beings create art. Human beings create families. Human beings create civilizations. and generations before us gave extraordinary sacrifices protecting those possibilities. So today I encourage you, take a moment to remember someone who served. Take a moment to appreciate freedoms you benefit from. Take a moment to breathe slowly and intentionally. Take a moment to reconnect with gratitude. Take a moment to think about what kind of future you want to help build. And if these conversations resonate with you, help us continue growing this community. Like this video. Comment below with your thoughts about Memorial Day, AI, robotics, and the future of humanity. Subscribe to the channel if you want more conversations exploring conscious technology, emerging AI systems, robotics, passive income opportunities, creator economies, healing, peak performance, and collaborative abundance. Share this video with someone thoughtful. Share it with someone interested in AI. Share it with someone who served. Share it with someone navigating uncertainty about the future, because these conversations matter. And the stronger this community becomes, the more value we can create together. Also check out the playlists connected to AI, humanoid robotics, conscious entrepreneurship, future technology, digital twins, automation systems, healing practices, and community building. And if you'd like to support the mission directly, the crowdfunding and Buy Me a Coffee links are available below. Every contribution helps support content creation, research, production systems, future collaborations, expanded media capabilities, and the long-term vision of building conscious human-centered media during one of the greatest technological transformations in history, including eventually building our own AI-assisted robotics and media production ecosystem, which, honestly, sounds increasingly possible every single month. The future is arriving quickly, but no matter how advanced the machines become, may we remember the irreplaceable value of courage. May we remember sacrifice. May we remember compassion. May we remember wisdom. May we remember conscious intention. And may we continue building a future where technology amplifies humanity's highest qualities instead of diminishing them. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your attention. Thank you to everyone who has served. Thank you to the families who sacrificed alongside them. And thank you to every thoughtful human being working to create a more peaceful, abundant, intelligent, compassionate future for humanity. Have a meaningful Memorial Day, and I'll see you in the next video.